Let's roll. This is Countercharge, your podcast for ranks, flanks, and kings of war. Join your hosts as they delve into the world of Panithor and bring you worldwide coverage of all things Kings of War.
Welcome to a live stream. A little impromptu. I think we scheduled it a couple days ago, so we didn't give people a lot of heads up. But you know what? If you're catching this on the backside as an audio podcast, welcome just the same. So I'm really excited. We've got Mr. Matthew Temple and Jason Burr from the Midwest. I'm sure you know what we're going to talk about. I don't think Kyle. We were just talking about Kyle Poole, were we not? He's the reason why we're here, because he didn't spill the beans like he was told to do.
It's always Kyle's fault.
It's always
Kyle's. Always.
Yeah. Well, so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to share a little bit about the U.S. Masters 2026, which is going to be held in Minnesota. I'm super excited. Hey guys, I'm super excited because how far of a drive from Memphis to Minneapolis? Maybe 16 hours, maybe?
If that.
Maybe? Better than 32. I can tell you that right now. that was a rough. Yeah. Yeah, I don't believe that, Kyle, at all. I'm sure that you were given written instructions that you just forgot. Reading is fundamental for everybody but Kyle or goblins. So, Matt, why don't you, what have you been up to? I haven't seen you in forever. Why don't we give the audience a little bit of a taste of where you've been? You've been playing some games, though.
I have been playing some games. So, let me just start out. First of all, I want to thank this community. I have had so many people reach out and, hey, Matt, you doing okay? For those of you who don't know, I'm going through a divorce right now. It's not pretty. Let me just go with that word. It's not been pretty. So, again, really appreciate the community. I typically, at least once a week, somebody's reaching out and, hey, Matt, are you doing okay? So thanks, everybody. Because of that, I haven't made it to tournaments or anything like that, but I have been, I've got some extra free time. I've been painting some abyssals and playing some games, and it's weird. I've been on a tear lately, so the abyssals seem to be a pretty good list. I'm hopeful that they stay that way for a while.
And what have you been up to, Jason? Did you not make the team? Is that what happened? What's going on, man?
Oh no, I qualified. I just couldn't make it.
I get it.
I'm going through a job change. Just got hired last week, so pretty pumped about that. But then still gaming. Shilkin, Sean Troy. Last weekend during Masters, since I couldn't make it, I hosted Billy Henninger up here at my house with Sean Troy and Connor Murphy and my buddy Mark. And we just gamed the whole Friday night till 2 a.m. Woke up the next day and did 10:30 to 6:30 of gaming. On top of having a live stream and smoking wings and barbecue and stuff. So other than that, just been painting. I got a commission job right now, and then just got done priming some models for Connor Murphy. And when I was down in Omaha the last time, I stole some Riftforge orcs from Travis Tim to try and put together a simple paint scheme, since we know everyone in Omaha other than Billy and Grant don't paint. But trying to get Travis to learn how to paint and do a simple paint scheme with some slap chop.
That's awesome. So, well, you guys were missed. We had a hell of a show, in Reno. It was a lot of fun, but there were a few, superstar personalities, yourselves included, that didn't make it. So hopefully that can be rectified next year. So, let's not bury the lead. Let's get into it. So obviously we're here to talk about the 2026 U.S. Masters. Matt, you want to maybe give a little preamble, and then we have a little presentation you want to give?
Yeah. So, last couple of years, we were in D.C., East Coast, and then we were in Reno, West Coast. And so the Masters Council was like, yeah, we kind of want something in the middle of the country. We're like, yeah, that makes sense. So came down Midwest, Southeast, South, and Midwest is the one that was able to put a bid together. We are super excited about hosting everybody next year. And it should be a lot of fun. Jason and the Minnesota guys are really gonna have a good show for us, I guarantee.
Well, you want to jump into the presentation?
Let's watch. Let's see it.
All right. So
all right.
I'll let you narrate, and you just tell me when you want to go to the next slide.
Sounds good. So we've got a lot of feedback about we like the old version of Masters back when it was in the winter. So you know what? Back to January 11th and 12th in Duluth, Minnesota. Go ahead. Why Duluth? Well, it's a great town and a really good Kings of War group. I mean, take a look at that crew. How can you say no to that?
That's right. Amazing.
All right, places to stay. Hey, Chris Kapsner is going to let us borrow his backyard again. That's going to be fantastic. You can put up a tent, all of that. So bring a sleeping bag, maybe 2. And, hey, cheap lodging. We're going to go cheap this year. Great deal. Good stuff there. Free transportation. Please bring a dog treat, though. That way, when you get through there. And the tourney, we're going to hold this 75 ice fishing sheds out on the lake there in Duluth. Look, Reno was exciting, but how weird and cool is this? I mean, really, this is awesome, right?
And you can do ice fishing while you're playing the game.
Exactly. When it's their turn, you just throw your stuff in. Yeah, it's all good. All good. We got a amazing bar this year at the top of the stairs there. Donnie is very excited about that one.
Yeah, he's a huge rock climbing junkie, right?
Yeah. Some unique local foods to enjoy. That looks interesting.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah. And some door prizes, snow shovels, snow gloves, good stuff right there. All right, we're just kidding, everybody, obviously. Okay. Any angry emails, please send to Kyle Poole. Thank you. All right, Jason, would you like to explain the venue for us?
Yeah, so the venue is at St. Thomas Academy. It's a local high school and middle school in the Mendota Heights area on the south side of the Twin Cities. It is literally you hop over the river from the airport, and that's where the school is. There's a bunch of hotels that are by as well. We will be doing it out of their main gym. Is that if we have more numbers than possible, we could potentially rent out their field house, which is right across the hall as well. With that, it is you hop back over the river to get to the Mall of America. Minnesota Zoo is within 10 minutes. We are 15 minutes from downtown Minneapolis and St. Paul area, so lots of things for family members to do. Lots of food venues close as well, right by Eagan, Minnesota. We'll have a classroom set up for streaming a match with free Wi-Fi at the venue. It's great. There's a lot of space, even with outside of the gym. There's a big foyer as you walk in. So, like Rob, if you want to do interviews and stuff in a more quiet place versus the gym, we would be in that. You would be in that space.
100%. It's great to have the space. And Jason, is it similar to? Am I thinking like it's similar to maybe what we had in Omaha? Is that kind of?
Yeah, but less walking. As far as like how we have to walk a good distance to get into the gym. This is less walking. The school is where Vince Flynn, the author, went. I also went there as well. I was just hired there as a teacher, so I'm very familiar with the venue. But yeah, we had a great price for it. I haven't said this to Matt yet, but because I was just hired there, we are redoing the contract to potentially get it even more cheaper for more things for us to do, which is always good. But we got a great price for it, and we're excited to host it. My brother, who works at a local ski hill, they host a car show every Wednesday, so they have a huge smoker. So we're actually going to bring that up to the venue and smoke and grill and cook for lunches on site Saturday and Sunday. So no one has to go anywhere. Keeps it simple, still get the community aspect to it. My brother and the guy that cooks for my tournament will be cooking for that. And they're good cooks from whatever. There's the Omaha guys call one of the guys, literally nicknamed him Brisket because they don't know his name and they just call him Brisket because that's what he makes.
That's
so
awesome.
No, we're excited. Both Best the Rest and the Masters will be in one gym, so you still get everyone together. There's a microphone there, so no one will be screaming between the two games. Trying to think if there's anything else, Matt. as far as the venue goes, but lots of bathroom space, lots of parking. So if people do drive, there's that. And like I said, the hotels that we're looking at all will have shuttles from the hotel or from the airport as well. So from both terminals. So no one will have to drive or anything like that. We haven't picked a hotel yet. We're still trying to narrow that down as far as what each hotel is offering, but they're less than 2-minute drive from the venue.
So one of the other reasons we looked at a lot of places throughout the Midwest. We looked Chicago, we looked Indianapolis, we looked Dayton, we looked Cincinnati, Columbus. Pretty much, Michigan. And one of the things we found is either the place to do the event venue was either stupid expensive or it was really cheap, but really hard to get to. So this was, we feel, our best combination. It's a great price, as Jason said. I'm even more excited to hear the new price. That's really exciting. Minneapolis is also a Delta hub. So there are flights basically from anywhere. I was talking to Ray Shields a couple weeks ago before Masters and kind of let him in on, he goes, because he was talking about how difficult it was going to be to fly from, Canada to Reno. And he looks at his phone and goes, oh, there's a direct flight. I'm like, yep, there you go. So most everybody should be able to hop on a plane, fly straight there, hop on the shuttle, and there you go. I mean, we really wanted to focus on convenience. And if I can be honest, DC Masters cost a little bit. that was the hotel was a little bit, and the food was a little bit. It was kind of an expensive one. It was fun, but cost a lot. Reno, kind of the same thing, like flying in and the hall and all of that. We're wanting to do something a little more budget friendly, but still awesome. That's our goal. How can we give you the most bang for your buck? So we're really excited with what we've come up with so far.
Yeah, you guys got some great perks, though. I just see Mall of America. I'm like, that sounds pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been there. I'm sure Jason, I know you live around the corner from it, and it's like whatever, but I mean, for people that have never been to the area, I think that'd be pretty sweet. It's got Toys R Us. How bad can it be? Come on.
It's got an amusement park in the middle of it too. So there's that. But yeah, I mean, I worked there for 4 years, so for me, it's not that big of a deal. And I've always literally lived right across the river from it. But totally understand that it being a tourist attraction for a lot of people, or people that just, hey, I want to get away, I want to walk around, I want to chill, all those kind of things. But no, I'm super excited. I feel the Midwest in general has got a great gaming community, especially in the Minnesota area between Duluth and down here in the Twin Cities. And we're excited to show that off to the country, not just, what we were talking before. I mean, we have a handful of people that don't play at a lot of travel tournaments that would probably be coming to this as well. We will have a best of the rest. Mm-hmm. There technically isn't a cap as of right now. A lot of it will be dependent upon if we need to open up the other gym, that we would have to pay for that as well. But it's more, hey, how many can we fit in comfortably? The other thing that me, Connor, and Kyle have talked about is making sure that there's enough space between every table. We don't want to be butt to butt anywhere. We want to have space. We know how stressful those games are. So the more space, very similar to Bug Eater, we're potentially putting out circle tables in between to be able to put your models on. For those that are wondering, there will be no basketball hoops, so Eric Trowbridge cannot shoot at this tournament. But yeah, no, we're excited to have everyone here and host everyone. Like Matt said, we want to make it simple, smooth, but a very good time. Those three things, if we can do those three things, every tournament that I've gone to when it's smooth, it's a lot more fun because there's a lot less hiccups where you're worrying about time, different things like that. But we want to make sure those three things are taken care of first, and then all the extras come in after that.
Yeah. Sounds awesome, guys. I think I'll just start hitting you with some questions, but where did you guys get the bug? Because I mean, the Midwest hosted in Chicago back in 2018. It's a long time ago. That's 7 years ago, guys. Or I think my math's right. Like it's a long time ago. So I know that we've rotated through all the 9 regions, and I know we're at a spot where what's next. And I know there was a general kind of preference to maybe have it more centrally located and not on a coast. And so that limits you, right? It's mountain, Midwest, Southeast, maybe even South. But so when did you guys know you guys wanted to host this thing?
I pretty much knew as soon as it's like, okay, it's going to be Reno and we're going to reset. I'm like, you know what? Midwest should do this again. This is, I think we run really good tournaments around here. Michigan GT, War Kings, Renegade, Lady of the Lake. I mean, we got some really good tournaments around here. And I'm like, we should show this off. This is something that we should definitely share with the rest of the country. Here's how we do things. Here's some Midwest hospitality. And, everybody, let's go have some fun.
Yeah, and I can appreciate the idea to like maybe go more along the lines of what we did in Omaha, right? To make it a little bit more, I don't want to say casual, but certainly cheaper, right? Obviously, flights are going to be flights. So there's nothing you can do about that, but anything you can do to bring the cost of the venue down, the cost of hotels, that kind of thing. So that's awesome. In terms of the team, like that's running this thing, anybody still there from when they ran it in Chicago?
I don't think so. The people that are mainly going to be running it are me, Connor Murphy, and Kyle Peach. We'll have support from the rest of the people within the Minnesota community, specifically for setup and takedown early, and the Midwest in general. I mean, Kyle Poole already said that he's the hype man. I mean, there's not a much louder person than Kyle when he wants to be. But in general, that's kind of the team that we're looking at for running the tournament. I know the venue. I know I'm the one that kind of got us connected with them. Kyle and Connor ran great Renegade, and we have been reaching out to other big time. I know I talked to Britton the other day. I've talked to Adam. Chris Capster's Chris actually helped run Chicago, if I remember right.
It was basically Chris and Grant Feder, I think. Chris Capster and Grant Feder kind of were the two big ones that ran. But there were a lot of, we got a comment here. Like, I should just mention, anybody that's watching this, if you want your region to host it, put the word out. But I can tell you right now, having run the first one, it is a lot of work, and you need a whole team. You need cash, because somebody's got to front some of those contracts. So it is a huge endeavor. And in the case of Southeast, watch this space. Maybe there's more to talk about there. But Mid-Atlantic, they just hosted it like last year. I don't know. I mean, for me personally, I think now I'd be willing to run it again. But that was like 9 years ago I ran it. Like, I would not want to run it like in 2 out of 3 years. It is that much work. And as you guys were talking about the venue search, that is probably the most important piece, because you got to find something that's economical that you can actually do it in, right? That gives you the space you need, but at the same time is not, we say it all the time, a lot of these venues that we look at are wedding venues. Well, once you put the W in front of once you put W out there, it's like, oh, you want $9,000 for this room? It's like, we can't make that work. So, but anybody that's listening, if you want your region to host in the future, 2026, 2027 going on, put it out there. And also, put your money where your mouth is. If you want it out there, you're gonna have to be willing to step up. What that means is that there's gonna be players from those regions that run it that aren't gonna get to play. Now, to be fair, Mr. Burr, you not playing might be an upgrade if that means we can get Sean Troy out there, right?
I mean, I've only made 1 out of the 4 that I qualified for, so I mean, there is that. And the 1 year we did both go, we won Masters. Not saying anything, just saying.
Okay, fair enough. That was in Omaha, right?
That was Omaha.
Yeah.
So no, in general, we still want to put a great team together from the Midwest. I think that's one thing that we do have is a very deep roster of players, especially if it's more local. But it was it's one of those things that me, Kyle, and Connor have had conversations when coming into this. It's like, hey, we want to make sure we're putting together a good team, but at the same time, making sure we've had guys reach out to us who've said, hey, if you guys need anything, any small things, let us know, and we're more than welcome. And that's one thing I think being in Minnesota, we do have a huge community that is more than willing. Like I know Shilkin just offered to host Brian Luttrell for my one day if Brian flew in here. Like not very many people would be willing to do that. So Kyle is oblivious to a lot of things.
Yeah, we'll just mention Kyle's post. It's a fair criticism, right? You know, we used to be in the wintertime, February, right? And then we made the decision to move it to summertime to allow people that maybe had jobs that couldn't, teachers in particular, right? We have a lot of teachers in our community. So we did move it a few months ago, or many, I don't know. It's probably been like 6 or I don't remember exactly when, but I'm trying to think. I think maybe after the Northeast one, we moved it to the summer. I'm not sure. But anyways, my point is,
I think it was COVID because that way.
It was with Dallas. Dallas, maybe.
Dallas. Because because COVID shut them down for the winter. Yeah, and it got pushed to the summer, and then people are like, "Oh, summertime is nice, so let's keep it rolling then."
So what I would say is that we know where 2026 is going to be. I don't think we have a clue what time of the year 2027 is going to be. So if you have any feedback for your regional rep, let them know. I mean, if there's demand to make it go back to February or some other month, now's the time to bring it up because we got plenty of time to handle. I mean, we've basically got 18 months or something before we would need to be ready to roll for 2027. So, I think this is kind of a long shot, but that's fine. Columbus will have all 8 Midwest seats. I don't know. I don't know if that's even possible. Yeah, and of course we love Russ, right? Huge support, and I'm sure Russ and Grant and Tim and the whole Billy, they'll all be in there in full. Whether they make the team or not, they'll be there in full support.
I've already been told that even if they don't make the team, they will come up and just hang out and help us as much as possible.
100%.
So.
The more people you have, the better, right? The first time we ran the event, it was like a team of 4, and it was not enough people.
No.
Like, I felt like, and we, keep in mind, we didn't have best of the rest. We just had 64 players, right? It's like, oh my gosh, we're doing terrain and prize support. It's just like, so you almost need like 10 people in that full support structure team. Now, some of them could play, right? A good example is the West Coast. They did a great job, but like a lot of the West Coast, Nick Murray, huge shout out to him. He's the one that found the venue, but he was able to play because he did all his work up front. He got the venue. Blake Robertson, who let's not even talk about his performance. 0-6. He probably shouldn't be invited back, but that's okay, Blake. I still like your sideburns, But he made all the terrain.
His army was complete by the end of the weekend. That is the key compared to Adepticon.
Fair enough. Yeah, no. Well, it was local, so he had no TSA to smash it into the machine, right? For those who don't remember, unfortunately for Blake, he had his army bag and it got smashed and caught into the X-ray machine, I guess, right? That's and it like destroyed the case and it destroyed his army. So, but it's all back together now because I did see it on. No, for the brief moment that it was on the table before he gets tabled, I did see it. Right. I hope he listens to this later because I would love to. I always like to poke the bear. So maybe let's just bring this one back up. Let's just mention it's July 11th and 12th in Minneapolis at St. Thomas Academy, right there in Minnesota, or right there in Minneapolis. So super excited. There's a lot of details still to come. This is still early days. We don't have obviously we don't have packs. We don't have prices. But just know that the team is really working hard to keep the price down, and make it accessible. I think one of the things that is an advantage is that there's a lot of people. God bless Ryan. I'm glad you're here, Ryan. So you can let Blake know that you should have listened to this. Because if he was here, maybe I wouldn't have given him so much stuff. But Ryan, if I recall correctly, you were also 0-6. So, I don't know. Who ended up finishing higher? That's what I want to know between the two of you. You know what? He's not wrong. He's not wrong, but that doesn't mean I can't talk crap, right? To be fair, I would say that the best of the rest room was pretty tough. We had most of Texas there, and they didn't pull any punches. So it was a great time.
I will add for the venue, it is St. Thomas Academy, not University of St. Thomas. St. Thomas Academy is right next to the high school. University of St. Thomas is in St. Paul. So Mendota Heights is the technical city that it's in. We're just calling it Minneapolis because it's simpler. But St. Thomas Academy is the actual venue, not University of St. Thomas. So for anyone that is wondering that, I will constantly remind people about that.
It's helpful, Jason. You know, Jeremy, you bring up a good point. I mean, like what I was getting to is, you know, it is in the Midwest. A fair amount of people will be able to drive.
Yeah.
Not the West Coast, maybe not the far Northeast. See, he's saying so did Blake beat you, Ryan? Is that what I'm hearing? So you gave him a pity win, right? Just to cheer him up.
Well, and like getting back to what you were saying, Rob,
Yeah.
like as far as people driving in, we took that into account too, between the airport, and we wanted to make sure between the airport being on the south side of the cities and people driving in, that we wanted to make sure it's on the south side. It's the only way that you're going to, unless you're coming from the north of the wall, which we call Duluth, or through Wisconsin on 94. Even 94 will hit one of the schools on 35 and 494, which 494 is basically a road around the cities off of 94. So it's kind of it's off of main streets. Hotels are off main highways, and you're not having to drive all the way through the city to get to the venue. So that was one of the things mentally we talked about, just so knowing that we are a bigger city, we don't want people that are driving to have to sit in a bunch of traffic.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I to be fair, guys, I told you before we got online, went live, like I'm super excited about like a reasonable drive, right? I don't know what the distance is. I can guarantee you it's not more than probably 15 or maybe 15 hours. I don't know. I think it's 10 to like
I forgot what it was.
Omaha maybe. And how far from Omaha to Minneapolis? Like 5 more?
I mean, I do it in 5, but I've been told, and I don't.
You drive fast? Yeah. You know what, Jason, you and I would get along very well. When I was on there were people that I was riding with that wanted to stop every 2 minutes. I was like, dude, we have to go 32 hours. Let's go, man. I don't have time for this stuff, man. So we'll have to do a road trip sometime.
Rob, according to my phone here, it is 12 hours and 21 minutes from somewhere in Memphis to Minneapolis.
That is so easy. That is like barely more than the Michigan drive that we make every year for Michigan GT. Like that
not
is
bad
like
at all.
Yeah, that's like I could do that with one eye closed, right?
Kyle Poole, to answer your question about it, will we see Chris Kapsner? We're going to Lady here in a couple weeks. I'm going to bring up to him to see if he'll at least come down one day and be a paint judge for that day. Even then, I still want him to come down and just be around. Obviously the community misses him. Great guy that's got a lot going on right now. So I know running Lady of the Lake always takes a lot out of him, especially now that it's a convention. But the idea is that we're going to try and get Chris Kapsner to come down and at least hang out, if not play or paint judge at the worst. So there's been talk. We're trying to get 3 different paint judges to do it. But I got to reach out. 2 have committed. Chris is the 3rd one.
But two are committed?
2 already committed to be the paint judge.
Perfect.
And Jason, I've actually wanted to talk to you about that because I have an idea about painting and something else, but I'll talk to you about that later.
Sounds good.
Could be exciting announcement later for everybody. So
awesome.
Keep tuning in.
So what came first, guys? Was it the venue, or did you know you wanted to put it in Minneapolis? And then you found the venue. Like, what came first?
I mean, I think there was talk the Midwest wanted to do it in general, and then it was, hey, what would be easiest for travel-wise for people? And then once Minneapolis became, me, Connor, and Kyle kind of got together and had conversations like, hey, we should host it. We'd love to host it. And then we talked about travel. Like, travel-wise, it makes complete sense to be in Minnesota, with it being easy to fly into, easy to drive to, because it's on a bunch of big high freeways. And then from there it was, hey, what venue makes sense for us? We reached out, like everyone does, reach out to hotels, and we got some pricing. And then once it came up the prices, I'm like, well, shoot, let me just go talk to the school I went to, being an alum there, because this is before they had hired me. And I was like, well, why don't we just do it there? I know their gym is huge because I was the basketball coach there at one point, and I know they have the field house across the hall. So it's not a space issue at that point for anything. And at that, once we got the numbers, we ran the numbers, saw that we could fit everything in a gym, saw the prices that they're giving us. It was a no-brainer for us.
So are you just saying that Kings of War got you a new job because you were working with the Midwest? No, okay, all right. Because
No,
I mean,
I
you were already working that angle before you went.
I worked there. I was a teacher and head basketball coach there originally. Was gone for about did something else for 4 years. And
Got it.
They had an open position that I applied for. Just happenstance, and literally just got hired last week. So I'm not
Just
mad about
good
it.
timing. Well, congratulations. That's awesome.
I have a very good friendship with the facility manager. And the other day when I was in there doing all my onboarding stuff, like, hey, can we have a conversation about this contract? Because I'm pretty sure we get a discount now with me being an employee.
I'm sure he loves you.
She loves
you. Yeah, that's awesome.
To piggyback on that, we looked at a lot of different venues, a lot of sites. Again, Kyle Poole mentioned he looked at hotels in his area for like 3 months. I actually got the Indianapolis Tourist Board helping me look for places to hold this. I know that sounds weird, but it's Gen Con week here. It was a little refreshing, though, to talk to a hotel and they're like, oh, a game tournament. Okay, cool. That's normal around here. The price and the convenience, it didn't match up. And anytime you run a big event, you got to figure out what do you want, what's your goals for this? What are you trying to do? And we're just Kings of War is in a weird spot where Masters is big. We need a lot of space. But comparatively, we're not bringing in a lot of people. If we were a card game and we needed that same amount of space, we'd have, 200 some odd people doing it. So we're in a weird spot where we can either charge all of you lots of money to play in the tournament, or we can try and find other venues, other things like that. So that's what we eventually came up with.
And I've been saying, me with the venue, the mad scientists and the brains behind this whole thing are going to be Connor and Kyle. I'm the one that tries to make everything smooth everything out on the rough edges, but they're the brains. They're the one that's going to be operating everything and moving things through. I'm going to be loud and answering questions, making sure everyone's at places at the right time, that kind of stuff. Those two are awesome, and I'm super excited to work with those two for a tournament. They ran a great Renegade last year, and I know that they're more than capable of making this an extremely smooth and fun tournament for everyone, both for Best of the Rest and for Masters.
I just love that every year they get better and better and better. We built, if you think back to Nashville, geez, forget this. But we didn't have Best of the Rest. That wasn't until the fourth Masters when we had it in New York, right? That was we're gonna have it in New York, and it's gonna be a whole thing. Best of the Rest. I just love that we keep adding stuff to it. So, guys, what are you gonna add? What's your new spin? What do we not know is coming? We're going to be amazed and blown over by when we hear about this new thing that you've invented or this new thing you've added. And Matt, maybe you don't know what it is yet, but we're the high bar. The bar has been set. So I'm looking. All the pressure's on you guys.
I think the main thing, initially, is a food on site that's not just catered in. People are going to be cooking there. It's going to be all fresh food on site. We're also going to get one of the teams to run a concession stand for snacks, Gatorades, waters, different things like that, to make sure people are staying hydrated. And with the snacks, just getting a little food in your system in between games, not just meals. I think that's the first thing, because people have tried to do food in the past. It's late, it's not there, different things. People got to go somewhere and then come back, can be a little bit hectic. But I think having cooked on site will be huge. From there, we're still working on, like I said, the extra things to really expand it and show it being a Midwest/Minnesota tournament.
I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. To be fair, I don't think I've ever been to a Minnesota tournament.
And you give me crap about not going to Memphis.
I'll be there at some point. I just, yeah, like you, I had a job change this year too, and I really had to like really look at the calendar and go, okay, what can I make this year reasonably? You know, it's like, oh, it's a tough. But 2026, that's all wide open for me. But are you guys going to be at Adepticon this year again, or I should say next year? Is that the plan? I guess wait and see, Matt.
I said that's the hope. Michigan GT, Adepticon, and then of course the local ones.
Oh, we got to have a challenge in the first round. Are you bringing goblins again to Michigan GT?
No, Abyssals.
I'll bring my goblins, and you can have your abyssals. And we need to have a challenge in the Michigan GT. I think that's got to happen.
I like it.
I'm sure you owe me a thumping at some point.
Definitely. Last time you played my abyssals, your ogres smacked them down in turn 5, so that was fun.
Yeah, or best of the rest, the salamanders. I think we're a little bit mean-spirited as well with the 18-inch range to your 17-inch range on your trombones.
That was fun.
It was fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Michigan GT. For those who don't know, Michigan GT is coming up the last weekend of. I think is it technically the first weekend of. It's like the last weekend of September into October, right?
Yeah.
I don't know the exact dates, but it's in Lansing, Michigan. It's a lot of fun. If you're in driving distance, I highly recommend it. Blake Strode runs a great event, and the venue is awesome. It's right there on the river, on the Grand River in Lansing. It's about 2 blocks from the Capitol. There's talking about history when we were offline there a little bit. There's a lot to see and do in Lansing. Obviously, a lot of automotive industry history there, so it's a lot of fun. But I don't know, Jason, what other events you got on the horizon for the near future?
I got Lady of the Lake here in a couple weeks, and then I run my tournament, Battles and Beers, September 13th. November is Renegade, and then turnaround next year. I know Kyle Peach and Connor Murphy are trying to run a 1-day. And then other than that, Adepticon I'm going, like as of right now, I'm going, but it's always right around state basketball tournament time and being a coach. I've already cleared it with my head coach, but I'm always feeling guilty if we're in the state tournament, leaving the kids.
You should. That's terrible, Jason. Where are your priorities?
I have a life. I've learned after being a head coach for 5 years, I need to have a life myself.
Absolutely.
So I've tried to balance that more so. But yeah, March Hare, Adepticon, Bug Eater are always go-tos. Lady Lake's almost always a go-to, and then obviously Masters next year as well.
I'm excited. Next year's going to be a banner year. I think the one wrinkle here, guys, is we don't know when 4th edition is going to hit. So, it's like, okay. So, before anybody asks, we don't know. And I think that I would expect with this announcement, we will eventually, we will probably learn at some point, what their plans are for 4th edition. And we'll have to make the decision. It's not dissimilar from when we went from 2nd to 3rd, or we went from 3rd to 3.5. Or if we had a really late Clash book, or an important Clash book, like the time that they took the Twilight Kin out of circulation, like the community has to make a decision on what we're going to do for Masters. Depending on when it hits, it might make sense to just keep going with what we already have if it's really late in the game. So.
But at the same time, that's one advantage to moving into the summer versus the winter. If it was during the winter, you're much more up against that Clash of Kings book where you're having to make a decision at that point, or if it's a late edition in the year. If it's not, you still have 6 months before everything kicks in, and at least there's some adjustments to the new rules or new game style, whatever they want to do with 4th edition. But at that point, that is one of the advantages to having it during the summer versus most of the time they switch stuff around wintertime versus summertime.
Absolutely. Well, guys, I'm trying to look at my list here. I think you guys have covered it. I mean, lots of details to come once things are nailed down, the cost. Is there anything you want to add, Matt?
We've got a lot of stuff that's in the planning stages. So I'm looking forward to sharing that as we start to get closer. Probably going to steal Jeremy's idea and do the Masters Minute things every month. I kind of like that. So we'll, again, keep your eyes and ears open, everybody, and we'll get more info to you as we get it.
Awesome. Yeah, stay tuned, guys. There'll be a lot more coming on Masters coverage, once the team solidifies more about the itinerary, the date, these specific times. Oh, there we go. I like that. Changes to most of the rest. I like it. Leave it to Kyle because he can't play, so he comes up with the cool taglines. I kid. You know, I poked the bear because I mean he wrote my goblin list, and I underperformed, and that's my fault, not the list. So it is what it is, right? Jason, is there anything else you wanted to add?
Just keep your eyes and ears out. We'll get good stuff out there as soon as we hear it. For the most part, we're going to try and solidify a few more things here in the coming months, namely all the details as far as venue, hotels, that kind of like simple things to get out there. And then as it's gets closer, we'll, like you said, every month hopefully get some more, keep the excitement going from this Masters into next Masters. And we'll keep rolling from there. But no, we're super excited to host everyone that will be coming up. The most of the rest or best of the rest. So even if you don't qualify for your team, please come on up. Mm-hmm. Feel free to bring your families. We have plenty of stuff for them to do around town. And yeah, we're excited to have everyone.
You know, and if Mark Cox was here or some of the other hard edge guys, you know, Matt, why didn't we announce this at Reno? Whose fault was it? You can be honest.
Kyle Poole.
I'm the region rep. It's me. So, you know.
Okay. Oh, look at that. Takes accountability and ownership.
I'll fall on the sword here.
You sure it wasn't Jeremy's fault?
You know what? It probably is Jeremy's fault.
Okay.
So.
Fair enough. Well, any final thoughts, guys, or do we covered what we wanted to cover tonight?
From my end, I think we covered everything.
Okay. I think we're good.
All right. Don't forget, we're looking at July 11th and 12th in 2026 at the St. Thomas Academy in Minneapolis. We're super excited. You know, hey, it's back to the Midwest, baby. It's been a while. It's been since the second one in Chicago. So it's not. We were in Chicago in the winter, right? So that was rough. And I think Minneapolis in the winter would be really rough too. So at least for this Southern boy. So, you know, I'm really glad. I appreciate you guys stepping up, right? It's a transition year for us in the sense that we've completed all of the regions taking an opportunity to host. And so it's kind of a hard reset, and out of the gate, you know, we're going back to, you know, maybe a little more comfort food. Like we kind of know what to expect from you guys. You ran a great event before, you'll run a great event now. You guys have got a lot of history with, you know, Renegades and Lady of the Lake and all the other events you guys have in not just Minnesota, but you know, Adepticon and all the other events, Michigan GT, all the stuff that Mike Carter runs. I mean, Midwest has got a plentiful amount of great events. So anyways, with that, I think we'll sign off. So thanks everybody for joining us. Until next time, keep countercharging.
Thanks for listening. And we'll see you next time on Countercharge. Please let us know what you thought of the show by emailing us at counterchargepodcast@gmail.com, on Twitter at countercharge15, or by commenting on the Countercharge Kings of War podcast Facebook group. If you enjoy the show, you can help others find out about it by leaving positive reviews on iTunes. Until next time, keep countercharging. Music is a composition of Kevin MacLeod and is licensed under Creative Commons.